Praise the Lord. God is good. God is great. Jesus alive and well. Ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls, call a familiar face. Call all the folks you know, from your family and relatives to your friends, your classmates, your roommates, your significant others, your spouses, and everyone else. From friends, amigos, comrades, compadres, to your frenemies and enemies. Tell them that your boy is doing his YouTube CVS station identification. No, it is not. The Pharmacy, its channel vlog show, known as WEML-TV, Channel 77. And now here is your host of the show, where there's ordinary and there's him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much for that wonderful intro, Mr. Announcer. Wink, wink. No, not Wink Martindale. What's going on, everybody? This is Eric Lima here, coming at you with another episode of WEML TV, Channel 77. This is episode 752. We got to talk about this. We're going to talk about this WarGames before we get NXT. NXT WarGames is going to be crazy. This is the first time, not with the TakeOver name, but it is WarGames nonetheless. And check this crazy thing out, too. I checked the weather report. We're going to have a little bit of snow in the forecast come this Monday. A little bit of snow because it's going to be a little mixture of rain and snow. It would be above freezing temperatures. So that's where I think, because we we have a lot of matches going on, and we have a lot of matches going on, and let me tell you, it's going to be. We have a lot of matches, a lot of WarGames implications. Let's just say it that way. And it kicked off with Grayson Waller. Kicks off NXT, starts trashing Tommaso Ciampa, and then he starts dissing the NXT universe because they dissed John Cena, The Rock, and Roman Reigns. He name dropped them, and I think the NXT Twitter account says, "Hey, you want to pick up those names you dropped?" I wouldn't be talking about Roman Reigns if I were you, Mr. Waller. So, Tommaso Ciampa versus Grayson Waller went one-on-one. And who would have thought that this match would start chaos? Tommaso Ciampa did win the matchup, by the way. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed LA Knight. And LA Knight starts trashing Grayson Waller in his usual LA Knight fashion. And I like it. He says, and he says the fans were right. Grayson Waller does suck. And then Joe Gacy goes, that's not the way we do about things. And then LA Knight challenges him in the match, and we go out there as a safe space to ring. All right, fine. So they're about to have a match later on. And then after Joe Gacy and Knight had that conversation, Toxic Attraction entered the arena, and they were being interviewed about how they feel about WarGames. Dakota Kai joins them, and they're like, "What's up?" And then they saw a mess, and they said, "Oh, somebody's angry about something." And there was Kaylee Ray with a silver baseball bat in her hands. More of her to come later on in the night, I should say. So Cameron Grimes comes out, shorter hair with a shorter beard, and he says he kind of reminds him, he never forgets where he comes from, even though he made it big and struck it rich. He said, the reason why I kept my hair and my beard is I never forget where I come from. I never forget all those times of how much hard work I've earned. And so he calls out Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson said, was sitting at the barber's chair getting his hair cut and all. And Duke Hudson responds to Grimes. He said, I didn't recognize you. And then after insulting Grimes says, that's it. How about this? We're going to raise the stakes a little bit. You versus me, hair versus hair at WarGames. Match accepted. So it will be Duke Hudson and Cameron Grimes one-on-one in a match at WarGames, hair versus hair. So Pete Dunne addresses the North American title match, and Pete Dunne says he vows to walk out with the championship. And then Mackenzie Mitchell interviews Indy Hartwell and Persia Pirotta about Dexter Lumis. Lumis says he's got an injured hand, be out for at least a few weeks to a month, which is really, really sad. And Indy Hartwell was saying, this for you, Dexter, I love you. And they had the match, and now they have Tiffany Stratton's Tiffany's Epiphanies and she's coming soon to NXT, but she's already made her debut on 205 Live against Amari Miller, picking up the win over Amari Miller, but we'll see her on NXT 2.0 pretty soon. So it'll be very interesting to see what she can add to the table. If you're not seeing her on 205 Live, I suggest you do so. Then they had the match of Team KC, I like to call these young ladies, Kate Connor and Casey Catanzaro, to face the Aussie team of Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada. Team KC did pick up the victory over in Hartwell and Parada. Hartwell's heart is not into the matchup. She was not focused, and she keeps on looking at the ring, thinking of Dexter Loomis. It's a sad state of affairs, let me tell you. Hopefully, Indy Hartwell gets together. And the Legado del Fantasma cuts a promo. Santos Escobar, LDF, Legado del Fantasma headed to the ring. But Andre Chase takes his students on a field trip to the Performance Center, and then they encounter Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes looks at Andre Chase and said, "Go to hell," and walks out. He said, "Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him." And they're not listening to him. They're just watching him go by, and they're like, I think they're just stunned that he would say something like that to Andre Chase, their teacher. But not out of the Grimes. I'm sure down the road, Grimes and Chase will probably go at it. Santos Escobar went one-on-one with Malik Blade. Escobar did pick up the victory. Electra Lopez addresses Zion Quinn, saying nobody, not even him, would turn down LDF, and they said, well, they don't need him, but they said, and Joaquin Wilde says, I think now is all the way, we're stronger, it's about time we go after, and I think they were mentioning the tag team championship still. Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly interrupted them and said something, and then Imperium said, why don't you two teams, you two clown teams, figure out who the number one contender is, and we'll face the winners at WarGames. So Imperium will be defending the tag team titles at WarGames against whichever team comes out on top in this matchup. But then, and then Cora Jade was about to get ready for her matchup against Mandy Rose, and Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Zoe Stark came in to talk to her, and they were like still a little bit arguing. Said, "Hey, we'll worry about getting the fourth person. Can we all just get along and all that? Well, it's WarGames we're talking about here. I got to get ready for my match against Mandy Rose," she said. Okay, they're like, okay, fine. So Mackenzie Mitchell was interviewing Tony D'Angelo talking about the North American title. He says that PD Peppers wouldn't stand a chance. So there's that. I said, you after Pete Dunne, he's gonna break that arm of yours, kid. And then. And he called Beth Phoenix, Vic Joseph, and Wade Barrett stooges, the three stooges. Are you kidding me? What the heck are you thinking? I tweeted Beth that she can glam slam Tony D'Angelo into oblivion. And I didn't believe that. So Mandy Rose and Cora Jade went one-on-one. And then Kaylee Ray came out during the matchup with that baseball bat, starts wrecking things, distracting Mandy Rose to the point where the pinfall, Cora Jade picks up the huge upset victory over Mandy Rose. And then Carmella Hayes and Trick Williams talked about their title match where, when Carmella Hayes shoots, he doesn't miss. Joe Gacy was kind of promo about this battle against LA Knight, and there was a big hand, Harlan's hand, and Joe Gacy's like, nice hand. I'm like, oh, good Lord, here we go. Then Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Joey Stark were celebrating with Cora Jade about her victory over Mandy Rose, but then Kaylee Ray comes up to them and said, you need a fourth partner? I'm in. And I'll be in the Women's Advantage match next week against Dakota Kai. That's another match that's going to happen. That the final NXT 2.0 go before WarGames. Joe Gacy and LA Knight was supposed to happen, but then as LA Knight came out to the ring, Grayson Waller attacked them from behind, and these two men fought. And they fought to the back. Joe Gacy addressed the NXT Universe. The Diamond Mine, not very happy about this, interrupts Joe Gacy. And then Joe Gacy decided to disrespect Roderick Strong, and Roderick Strong said, you know what, I'll waive the 205 Live limit 205 pound weight limit situation and challenger. I think I got a feeling they're going to change the cruiserweight name of the cruiserweight title. I think that could be the NXT. They have the NXT Television Championship, and they should call it that at least. So, anyways, so it'll be Roderick Strong defending the cruiserweight title against Joe Gacy at WarGames. But Harlan shows up as Gacy's side when they told the Creed brothers to try to take him out. And they saw Lee Harlan and said, no way. As Ivy Niles get ready for a matchup. MSK continues the first search for the Shaman, which I think I'm starting to assume is Rob Van Dam. There's no doubt. But then again, who knows? It'll be somebody different under a new gimmick. But they got pulled over by the cops for driving 7 miles per hour. Good Lord, why would you want to drive 7 miles per hour? He's not even speeding. Oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing. But boys, you can drive the speed limit, man. Don't drive too fast, man. And so Ivy Nile went one-on-one with Ulisa Leon, and Ulisa Leon does a little shaking, trying to outsmart Ivy Nile, but Ivy Nile got a unique version of a dragon sleeper hold, and so like a dragon sleeper into the back or something like that, and Ulisa Leon tapped out. So Ivy Nile did pick up the victory. So Sokoa talked about, he used to walk with the day ones. And I think he was referring to his older brothers, the Usos. And then he says, I walk alone. I'm the king of the streets. I'm going to make a bet, but by next year, Solo Sikoa will make his debut as the fourth member of the Bloodline. You watch. I think Roman Reigns, it'll be the part where Roman Reigns and the Usos will have trouble winning, and they say they need to get back to their power. And they said, we're gonna get our brother Solo Sikoa, get him up there. Watch. That's why I'm gonna feel Solo Sikoa will join the Bloodline, no problem, no questions asked. That's next year. That's next year's prediction. And the Gristle Young Veterans were talking to each other and yakking, and then all of a sudden they scared one guy and goes, go on, mate. And then Walter and Knight continued their brawl in the back. They were still arguing. Officials trying to separate these two. It's crazy. And then Boa was trying to control the darker side of him, aka Mei Ying. But they said Boa says that she's passed on her spirit and strength to me. And Boa said that. But once I learn how to control it, no one's gonna stop Boa. So Boa is the man to look out for. So he's the one-man Tiancha. So they had the Grizzly Young Veterans to go up against Josh Briggs and Brooks Jansen, I should say. And Briggs and Jansen did pick up the victory over them, so that could put him in tag team title competition. I wouldn't be surprised if the other two teams, Legado del Fantasma, Von O'Reilly, and Von Wagner, and Imperium get joined up by Briggs and Jansen and say, hey, we want to shot the belts. Then Grayson Knight and LA Knight and Grayson Waller continue fighting in the back. And then the North American title in a triple threat, these three gentlemen went at it, and they went at Carmelo Hayes defending the championship against Johnny Gargano and Pete Dunne. But then when Pete Dunne had the victory well in hand, though, Tony D'Angelo yanks Pete Dunne out, slams him against the stairs. Carmelo Hayes picked up on it, gets the victory. And then as they were standing around, LA Knight and Grayson Waller started coming back out to the ring to beat the snuffing out of each other and continuing to fight. And then Tony D'Angelo, Grayson Waller, Trick Williams, and Carmelo Hayes were about to hurt Johnny Gargano, and then Tommaso Ciampa gets involved. He comes to the aid of Johnny Gargano, and in the ring is Pete Dunne, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and LA Knight from the old school version of NXT. Outside the ring was Carmelo Hayes, Tony D'Angelo, and Grayson Waller. But then Braun Breaker comes out, joins up with the four outside the ring, and he said, WarGames! And all 8 men started beating the stuffing out of each other. So, the men's WarGames is old school versus new school NXT. The old school NXT consists of Tommaso Ciampa, the NXT champion, Johnny Gargano reunited as DIY for probably that one night only. Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight, and LA Knight. And I can say this, he's going to make dummies out of the new school. Yeah. And that's not an insult, that's just a fact of life. And they'll count, and the new school will counter Grayson Waller, Tony D'Angelo, Carmelo Hayes, and Braun Breaker. That's right. That is the name of the game. So the road to War Games begins. And it will end and culminate a week from this Sunday. Can't wait for it. And I'll tell you what, it's going to get very interesting, to say the least. That's right. And I'm totally excited. So I'm excited. Don't know about you. I'm excited. So that is all the time we have on this awesome show. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. And the fact is that I'm really excited, and we will see what happens. So I'm totally stoked, and we'll see what happens in the long run. All right, so I will see you later, and I'm going to bid you good night, guys. I'm going to upload this video, and then we're going to go from there. Episode 752 of WEML-TV, Channel 77, NXT 2.0 Event Center, 10:32 p.m. November the 23rd, 2021. 2 days before Thanksgiving. And if you don't plan on being on the internet for the rest of the week or for Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving for everyone. And to the rest of you, bye for now. Peace, love, blessings to all from the Lord above through me. Peace.